You don't need a laptop to check what's wrong with it.
There's 3 wires going to the motor. So if it doesn't run, one of those 3 wires came off or it's got a hole in the pan.
What's up, guys? We're over here at Danny's shop and we are visiting with Guy and his 71 F350. Guy, you're from out here, right?
Yeah, I was born here in town.
Beaumont, yeah. Cherry Valley out here. Local dude, knows about the desert, loves the desert, has been in it for a long time.
Well, it started out, 71 F350, it had a 20-foot flatbed on it.
Okay.
Like they were hauling like form lumber, some block laying guy had it.
Okay.
So I bought it from him for a couple $100, motor blown up, cut like 10 feet out of the middle of it.
Okay.
And then made it into a short bed. And we use the F350 because it has a bigger frame, and it starts out with a bigger I-beams and sticker.
It has all the big stuff already.
It's just heavy though. I mean, that's the downfall, but you know. So then we got 2 sets of I-beams, the 1-ton I-beams, and then spliced them together to make them longer, and then plated them. And then I built the I-beams and control arms and all that stuff. And then I couldn't figure out how to make it steer. So then I seen Danny done all them swing sets on all them Chevy trucks and stuff he does. So I asked him if he'd put a swing set on it.
Yeah.
So he put the Chevy steering box inside the frame.
Okay.
Because these old trucks had rear steer before, you know.
Yeah.
And then one thing led to another. It was supposed to be just a swing set. So then he does that. And then he says, well, you know, I don't really like these van spindles that you have, these 1-ton van spindles. So we drew a set of spindles up, and we had a machine shop make those spindles out of chromoly.
And literally, because Danny does draw it out.
Yeah, he drew a picture of it, and we took
awesome.
it to the guy, and he made it into the CAD drawing or whatever, and the machine cut them out.
That's awesome.
And they're 1.25" kingpins up, like a C60 Chevy truck, like a medium-sized truck.
Danny said, hey, this might be a concerning area. Let's
well, because even the 1-ton spindle's got a little tiny wheel bearing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That takes a Dana 60 four-wheel drive snout.
Okay.
You know, and then that way, too, you can buy all the parts if you break something.
You don't have to
it's not some
order
custom
it online.
snout. Yeah, you can bolt that off and buy something. The kingpins you can buy at the auto parts store. It's got Chevy.
I mean, I love to hear that.
Chevy calipers and 1-ton Chevy rotors. So like wheel bearings, all that stuff you can get at freaking O'Reilly's. You know what I mean? So.
I love that, man. And I mean, like, so for somebody coming up and trying to do something on their own, like trying to build something like this on their own and maintain it without breaking the bank, right? Breaking the budget.
Find out what stock stuff you can use.
Yeah, that's pretty common. I know a lot of Ranger guys have done that over the years. They'll look for some of these old F350s and the Kingpin I-beams, all that stuff, and the
like
old
these,
equal lengths. And
these were, like say, regular beams, the big 1-ton ones, and we just, I bought 2 sets, one a set from a junkyard, and we spliced them, made them longer, And
awesome.
then this is a piece of AR 500 3/8 plate on the front. That's all plated in.
This thing looks great, man. It's all powder coated too, huh?
No, that's rattle cans, dude.
Rattle can?
So that's,
Yeah, you got
that's
smooth, bro.
Dupla colored engine paint, dude.
Let's go.
That way, when I screw it all up, I can just go down and spend my $9 and paint it up
there we
again.
go. Yeah. Cool bumper on this thing. Thing looks pretty beefy over here.
You know, it was sitting on leaf springs in the back.
Okay.
So, you know, he's giving me the guilt trip about the leaf springs because everything in the shop's all linked up.
Yeah.
So
If you're gonna sit with the cool kids guy,
I go, well, what? We could cut that off and put links, but I go, I don't want links like everybody else has. After you look at everybody's trucks, they all got like the store-bought looking, you know what I mean? They all look the same.
yeah, you wanted something a little
So
different.
I said, let's do something different. So we did it like a Pro 2 style.
So what's the rear axle? It says Dana
Well,
70?
that's more recycled junkyard stuff. That's a Dana 70 from a motorhome,
Hell
the rear end. And then,
I'm loving these like DIY fixes.
And then-
like, let's figure it out. Let's keep
and
it
then
budget.
yeah,
Let's
it's
make
got
it work.
a factory locker in it and comes already with like 35 spline axles.
So
and
that's like the widest track width like factory housing
Yeah.
you could buy or
So
you
then-
can find, I think.
Same thing. We use a 1-ton Ford van rotors and Chevy calipers, so it's all store-bought disc brakes on it, you know, in the back.
Just the rear axle housing, tabbed it for the links. They put those brake brackets on there. And then, yeah, it's like a reversed style 4-link where it's, you know, typically the link centers on the top of the housing, where this one centers up there on the chassis. It's wide at the rear.
Interesting.
Shocks. Yeah, the shocks mount off the upper link. Instead of, you know, typical, like traditional trailing arm would be down here on the bottom.
Yeah.
The shocks would go down into the trailing arm there, but these are all mounted off the top.
Okay.
Actually, it's kind of cool. It keeps the shocks out of the dirt.
Yeah, the
Like
shocks
any-
don't get all rock blasted, man.
Any
Yeah,
roost
up
that
there
would
like
get shot up from the front tires doesn't damage the shock shafts or anything like that.
Right.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's different. That's my favorite part about it is that you don't see stuff like that.
Very
You know what I mean?
Very cool. Super clean, simple setup that is effective.
Yeah, and then just built like this cross member here that captures the links. It's all backed up into the backside of the radius arms.
Pretty close. This
Yeah.
is all super close.
And then we tied the cage into the radius arm brackets just to tie everything together. And then yeah, the upper shock brackets up here, just tied that into the cage that the guy had already built.
Okay.
So we just added this in here to capture the shocks. And that's about it. Everything else that was on the truck, cage-wise, Guy had done himself.
I wanted to keep it like an old Class 8 truck look.
Yeah.
So we got the step side bedsides. They're making those mag wheels again, the 17s. So I bought those and then had the OMF guys put beadlocks on them. So it looks kind of like period correct, you know what I mean? Even though it's
Absolutely. I love the way this thing sits, like the old Class 8s that are a little bit higher, you know. This gives me like a Herbst kind of vibe, you know what I mean, Danny?
him.
Yeah.
Ask him about the lowrider trucks.
What do you think about the low riding trucks?
not
Like,
much,
Not much. All right.
not much.
Not very much thought about
No.
them. Can I just say how awesome these fenders are?
Dude,
These
this
are
is some recycled too.
freaking
These are off a
awesome.
1960 Ford truck. These holes right here are from a Greenlee electrical knockout punch, like for a conduit.
That's awesome, man. Very cool.
Then Danny had to move them out to clear the tires.
Yeah.
So he pressured me in to run 39s again too, because they had 37s on it.
Yeah. I mean, the 39s definitely give it that Herbst
Yeah.
8 look. You
So
know?
we were worried
I know
about-
everybody was running 37s back then, but
Well,
this
we-
looks
I mean, even back then, 35s was like
huge.
And when we had to scoot it out, so the tire would tuck in, so then they built these fenders on the inside so the back window doesn't get blowed out. You know, with a rock.
Awesome. You know, I'm going to ask Guy. Guy, can we have this thing at the Off-Road Expo this year? Is that
If you
cool?
want it there, yeah.
I think we want it there. Can you guys tell Guy in the comments we want that thing there?
I kept something so to remind me always.
Let's see it.
This is the what everybody told me was going to break into. This is the butt weld on the frame when we shortened it.
Oh, wow. And it's still there.
Yeah, years later.
And this was a huge, like a,
It was like,
work truck.
it was a dually, like flatbed. Yeah.
So I remember this is a Halo cage, right?
Yeah, and you know, Kurt LeDuc helped me make this. We used to chase for him and stuff back in the days when he had the 8 truck. So Kurt came to the, I said, I'm going to put a cage in my truck. He goes, well, let me come help you. I'll show you how to bend one up. He came down there and we built the, basic cage up.
That's awesome.
And then we did all this sheet metal inside, you know. Which really sucks if you crash it or something because, you know, you got to cut all that out. Factory steel dash, so it looks old, you know.
The gauges, the way it's supposed to be, you know.
Yeah, I just took
It
the
gives it
stock
such a
thing
good
out and
vibe.
made a plate to go in there and filled it in. The fun part of a camping trip where you're going to go out is not who's got the laptop so I can figure out why it don't run.
Right.
You know, it's got no computer on it. About the most high-tech thing on it is the radio and the MSD box.
Yeah, you hear that, nerds? I'm talking to myself. Awesome, dude.
And
I
it's
love
simple.
that.
There's-
You don't need a laptop to check what's wrong with it.
There's 3 wires. There's 3 wires going to the motor. So if it doesn't run, one of those 3 wires came off, or it's got a hole in the pan. Wiggle that one. It's all dirty. So, well, see, I was after it was here. He built the engine cage.
Built the engine cage.
Okay.
So they built the engine cage. We hung the shocks on it. Yeah.
So built the engine cage, shocks. Well, she says a mic.
Yeah.
You just hold it like that.
Sorry. Yeah. So we built the engine cage while it was here at the shop. Engine cage, shock brackets. You know, the lower shock brackets on the beams and radius arms. And I think that's all we did up here. We
Yeah,
tied
I just
it in.
tied that back into the cab.
Yeah, we tied it in through the cab here, which is kind of cool. It comes through here. It went under the cowl, so you were able to keep all the factory
Airbox and all
Yeah.
the crap.
airbox and the wipers and all that. So it comes through, and again, this is like old school style, which is perfect. And it just ties into the cage right here. And then we did this kicker that comes down. It's just one bent piece of tubing that actually forms through the floor.
Yeah, and on the back side of that, he's
Yeah.
tied into the
So we
frame.
notch this and it sinks through the floor.
That's so cool.
Ties in.
It's like smooth.
So the bottom of that tube, you can see it here.
Got it.
And then we just laced it all in, tied it all in together.
So as far as travel numbers, what are you guys thinking with this thing?
The front, we cycled the front. The front's like 23, 24. And this back's like 20.
That's a lot of travel.
Yeah, if it works right. You know,
Yeah.
you don't need it all crazy if it works good, you know.
I think we got to catch Guy out in the desert. That'd be really cool to get this thing in action. I think you guys would all appreciate it. I'd
Yep.
love to see this thing at the Off-Road Expo. Maybe we could twist Guy's arm to get out there. This year we're actually having it.
And it gets used, I'll drive it there.
Oh, that's
Ain't
cool.
no trailer queen shit. I mean, trailer
You hear
to
that?
the...
So if you guys are out in Beaumont, Cherry Valley, you see Guy, say what's up. This thing is awesome. Or maybe not. Just give him a thumbs up. This thing's really cool. Again, we're going to try to get it at the Off-Road Expo this year. This year, we're actually hosting it at the Orange County Fair, not the Fairplex
Not
in
Pomona.
Pomona anymore. No, we're doing it over there. We're actually taking over a couple buildings, and I think you guys are going to see some really cool builds like this there this year. So very cool. Well, thank you guys for checking everything out. If you guys have any questions for Danny or for Guy in regards to this build, lots of really great information on here. Some budget-friendly stuff, but on top of that, just performance-driven choices and options that he made with this thing. We'll see you guys around. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Bye.